Hello folks, this one's really basic. This is where I'm going to teach my granny to suck eggs. Most of you who are watch enthusiasts, well all of you who are watch enthusiasts know this perfectly well. But recently I noticed a young person wearing a watch that was an hour out of time because daylight saving time had happened and they hadn't bothered or known how to change their watch, or possibly even noticed since they use the smartphone for everything nowadays. Anyway, I thought I'd do a quick tutorial on how to set a watch. Now this is basically the same for all watches. So if you know already, just pass this one by. If not, just sit down and have a look. The crown, this bit here, what we maybe call the winder, if you aren't into watch speak, would be how a mechanical watch would be wound up. To put power in the spring, you would turn this and you would feel the spring tensioning. But it's also how we move the hands and set the date. Now what we have is it pulls out and it pulls into two positions. The first position is where we can quick set the date function. You see that turning there. The second position is where we can move the hands. Now you can see here that as with most quartz watches, in fact all quartz watches and quite a lot of mechanical watches, when you pull the crown out to that second position, the second hand also stops. That allows you, it's called hacking, and that allows you to set the seconds properly. Anyway, what we do is, say it's the 15th of the month, what we can do is move it to the first position and then turn this until we get to the 15th. And then set the time by pulling out to the second position, moving the hands. However, that's not the whole story. There is a little problem that most people don't realise. And you know what that is if you have a look at this. This here is the date wheel. It goes all the way around the face. It's the white thing with the black numbering on it. Sometimes it's black with white or whatever. And it's got little teeth in the inside. Now there's two different mechanisms for changing the date wheel. There's the one that we were looking at, where we turn it and it's called the quick set, and we turn to the day. But there's also a second one, and it's a completely different mechanism, where when the hands turn, as you wind it on, once every 24 hours the date changes when the hour hand passes the 12. Now that mechanism starts to engage sometime, usually between 10 and 2, before it's completely disengaged. So it would start to engage about here, it would change over at 12 and it would be completely disengaged probably by that time you're about 2 a.m. However, you can set the date on your watch, and looking at your watch you can't really tell if it is 4 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if you change your date in the morning, what you could get is when noon comes along, your date window changes, and that wouldn't be something we'd want. So what I always do is, if today is the 21st, say, go to the quick set and change the date, not to the 21st, but change it to the 20th. Yeah. And then manually, the long way round, then we're passing noon on the 20th, and then return to the 21st. Now if it's in the afternoon, you have to take it all the way round first time. So you're now in the afternoon. This is the afternoon, and set your time. Now the reason that we want to do that is so that the date doesn't change at noon by mistake, inadvertently. You've got maybe a 50-50 chance of knowing whether your watch is at AM or PM if it's not set properly. But there is another thing going on here. Remember I said there was two different mechanisms, and the date wheel turns with little plastic teeth that go all the way around. And what can happen is, if the mechanism has engaged to change the date, let's get to that again. You see it's starting to turn the wheel. You see it's changing from 21 to 22. If that has already started happening, and then you engage the quick set, you can break the little teeth on the date wheel and break your watch. So what's always best to do is, when you're changing the date, make sure that the hour hand is in the bottom half of the watch face while you're using the quick set date. That way you involve any engagement between the 24-hour date change and the quick set change, and you're not going to snap off one of those little wheels. Now I want to show you another watch here. This one has a day date function, this little Seiko quartz. And just like the other one, the crown has 3 positions. There is the one where it's set in, and you could wind the watch if it was a manual watch, a mechanical watch. Or you move it out to the first position and you can change the date, the quick set. Now if you turn that towards you like that, anti-clockwise, you change the date, and if you turn it clockwise, you can change the day. Now you see it's got a dual language day change. And that's the only difference between that and the watch that just has the date function. I'm going to show you now on an automatic watch what's going on. This watch here is an automatic, and it works exactly the same way as far as the positions of the crown is concerned, but this is a mechanical watch. Now you see that it started to tick there because it's had a little shake, and the hammer in the back has turned round and it's put a little bit of power into the spring, so it's just started to tick. The only difference with this one is, because this is a water resistant watch, you quite often get this crown is screwed in, and that's just for waterproofing, dust proofing, etc. It just makes it that bit more secure. So what you have to do first of all is you have to unwind the thread until you feel it pop, and now it's in the first position, which would be where the crown would be recessed on one of those quartz watches. And at that point you can wind the watch movement up and put some power into the spring, and then just like the other one, we move it out to the first position there. The next position, we've got the quick set for the date. You see that turning? And if you pull it out again, there we can change the hands. Now what you can do is you can pull it out to hack the second hand when it's at the 12, and then you can use an atomic clock app or whatever on your phone to make sure that the seconds go to 0, and then start the thing running, and it'll be synchronized with the proper time until it loses time over the day or whatever. I hope this little lesson's been useful to you. If not, well, I don't think you've got this far in the video. So bye for now, until the next time.